and then you give 320. So in decimal, value 320 looks like this, but in binary what happens is shown here. You exactly see top right corner, starting bit from 0 into right and ending at 15th bit on the left. Total 16 bits are shown, and 16 bits are shown as 0000, 0001, 0100, 0000. This is exact representation of decimal 320 into binary. And as you all know, whatever we are storing into memory is always stored in terms of binary, but the same binary you compare in this shown diagram. This diagram shows if you assign 320 as a value to integer, it is going to store your bits in somewhat reversed sequence. In our calculation, let us divide this calculation into two parts: first 8 bits and last 8 bits. First 8 bits are 0000, 0001, and last 8 bits are 0100, 0000. While presenting the same and storing into memory, they are exchanged with each other. And compare this 8 bits with our stored diagram, which is showing actually how bits are stored. First 8 bits are stored into last 8 bits of actual storage, and last 8 bits are stored into first 8 bits of actual storage. So if you assign 320 to your integer, this 320 is converted into binary, and this is your first byte and this is your second byte of declared integer, because integer contains 2 bytes in memory during 16-bit programming. First byte contains bits of last byte and second byte contains bits of first byte. So we are comparing our calculated bits with this output. 0100, 0000 are first 8 bits in actual storage. See, it is shown in a green area, and first 8 bits in calculated 0000, 0001 is stored into lighter green area, which is the second bit, out of which, as this is integer and if you don't specify, by default it is a signed integer, such signed integers contain first bit as a signed bit, which is shown in yellow. So 7 bits out of first 8 bits are taken and stored as 00000001, and signed bit is 0 because the number assigned to I is positive. 0 is representing positive and 1 is representing negative number using signed bit. So first byte contains next byte binary, and second byte contains first byte binary. This is how your entire output is reversed and then stored. In our program further, a character pointer is declared. Last time we discussed about size of pointer. Regardless of what type of pointer you are declaring, always pointer's type is pointer's size is 2 bytes. I am trying to store address of I, which is declared as integer, into pointer of character. And remember, any pointer declared for character understands that the address what I am given contains 1 byte data. The pointer of integer understands the address I am given contains 2 bytes of data, and a pointer declared as float contains 4 bytes of data address. So this pointer is going to get address of I, but it understands that only this first byte contains some data, only because it is a character pointer. And then if we say star PTR, the meaning is value at given address. The address what we have given is first address, and type of pointer is character. So implicit meaning is you go to given address, process 1 byte because type is character, and give me the output. And what output exactly we should expect is, it is going to read 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. First byte is considered sign bit because now we are talking about character and only 1 byte data is interpreted. So rest of 7 bits are to be considered. Moving back to our calculator, and this time we want reverse calculation from binary to decimal. So before entering your data, first change your selection from decimal to binary. I have selected binary now, and now I am typing 1, then 0 0 0 0 0 0. These 7 bytes has to be represented in form of decimal. So you select decimal and check the outcome. Outcome is 64. And if we print using %d and pointer, it is going to display 64, where calculation doesn't suit your thinking. What you think is we have stored 320, and why 64 is coming up. But these two statements are really very nice to understand, and it clarifies more about exactly how pointers are operating on your data. Your pointer is closely related to data type for which they are declared, and they are given a starting address. How many bytes to be considered as data depends on its type, and that's the only reason why this program gives wrong outcome. So 64 is correct answer if you execute this, but reason behind this is we are only pointing first byte, and equivalent conversion of 1 0 0 0 0 0 is 64. It gives 64. The next is array and pointer notation. Can we write this? It is shown here. I have declared an integer array containing 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you all know, if array is initialized, we need not to specify number of elements. Automatically it is calculated on the basis of this. But now, to access this array, generally what we write, let us see into example. Okay, in my example, A is declared and initialized with 3 values. These 3 values can be accessed by writing A0, A1 or A2. But have you ever tried to write this 1A, 0A or 2A? Even this can happen. If you write A1, then you are going to get 2. If you write A0, you are going to get 1. And if you write A3, you are going to get A2, you are going to get 3. We know this notation, but even reverse is working. If I execute this program, the program gives me outcome 2. If I write A1, definitely it gives 2. But if I write 1A, even it gives me 2. And how is it possible? This is possible because of array notation. Here array notation is shown. If I write array in bracket 2, its meaning is array plus 2 star, where array is a pointer containing starting address, plus 2 is adding number of addresses depending upon its type. Here it is integer, so it's going to add 4 addresses. But we can also write 2 plus array and star remains as it is. And finally, if I write 2 array, and it can give 3 in this example, but in our code example, this can give 2. So you can understand this by knowing this array notation. So if anywhere, if this is asked to predict output, don't ever say this question is wrong. Actually, this question is very right, but this question is trying to understand whether you know this or not. And the only what you need to understand, you need to remember, you need to clarify is how these notations are exactly processed. So these notations says array gives starting address plus you add number of bytes depending upon its type, and you can reach to your destination address by adding star. You can fetch its value. So giving array 2 in this example is going to give 3, but even if you type 2 array, it's going to give 3. Minus sign is added, and so finally it's going to give you minus and 3 to percentage %d, and minus 3 comes on screen. The next is example of initialized and uninitialized pointer. We just want to understand difference between these two. If I type character pointer p, it is declaring a pointer. It is assigning 2 bytes to this variable. But unfortunately, every variable which we declare is never initialized automatically, and that's why always they contain some garbage value. Ultimately, this pointer is also going to get some garbage value, and forcefully we consider that garbage value as address. The next declaration is character pointer q, but it is initialized with null. Null is a macro which assigns null as a value to your pointer. The first case is known as uninitialized pointer, and second case is known as null pointer or initialized pointer. Though we cannot initialize pointer with some value, either it should be uninitialized or it should be initialized with some genuine address, or you can make it null. But the second line is creating null pointer. Now you know what is use of strcpy function. Strcpy function takes 2 strings and copies second into first. So I am taking p and copies C programming into that variable. So what will happen? C programming is copied into address indicated by pointer p. But the second line is is trying to copy C programming onto address indicated by q. But you know what address q is indicating. Q is indicating no address. And so second strcpy fails. And then if you try without verifying whether it was successful or not, if you try to print %s and taking value from p and q, the output what you are going to get is first as successfully copied, but second still as null. And this proves that second execution of strcpy was a failure. The reason behind failure is p was not initialized, we call it uninitialized pointer, which was containing some garbage address, and this string is copied onto that garbage address. But ultimately our operation was successful. Whereas q was initialized with null, that means it is not indicating any address where we can put some data, and so this data is not put. So while observing outcome, it shows C programming as a first outcome but null as second outcome. So we should always initialize pointer to make it misinterpretation safe. The next important topic I want to mention is, sometimes questions are asked, can we declare integer of bits or bytes less than its capacity? For example, I want to store gender, and gender can be stored with 1 as well as 0 also. Or I want to store age of human, and we all know age of human cannot be more than 100, or at least in 3 digits, not more than 3 digits. We are declaring integer variable to store age of human, and you know the limit of human integer is 65535 if it is unsigned, and limit is -32768 to +32767 if it is signed. This signed unsigned gives lot bigger range than our requirement. So if you want to reduce allocation of bits to your variable, you can go for an option called bit field. In C language, the syntax shows we have option to declare integer with a name, but not only this, you follow it with colon and number of bits you want. As far as gender is concerned, either I am going to store 0 or I am going to store 1. So I only require 1 bit to store 1 and 0, and that's why I am declaring integer as unsigned. Its name is gender, followed by colon, and 1 indicates that though it is integer, I don't want full 2 bytes. I just want single bit to store my data. Same way, the second example what I have explained, you can declare unsigned, age cannot be negative. So unsigned integer age, and then you calculate how many bytes you want to store 3-digit number, and you make those many bits here. So it can be unsigned integer age, which is our variable name, followed by colon and 7. Let us take example. It means I want to declare a variable of type integer. It is unsigned, its name is age, but while declaring it in memory, don't give me all 16 bits, because integers are made up of 2 bytes, 16.